Good morning, everyone. Okay, so maybe you're wondering what's going on here. We are not in the studio. I am at home and I'm Anne-Marie Martin, the franchisor of Diddy Dance. Unfortunately, Adam had to get called away this morning, so I've jumped in because we have got such an amazing guest on this morning that we needed it to still happen. So I've come in and I'll be interviewing as best I can so that you can really get some great knowledge, advice, tips, and hear from the inspirational Brad Burton. So if we want to get Brad on, let's get this going. Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Kicking backside as always, Anne-Marie. Well done for stepping in. See, that's what happens in life. You're going to get situations that come your way, and it's how you adapt and how you deal with them. So thank you so much for being here today.
Fantastic. So this is going out to the franchise mastermind group. We are called the Mob, the Martyrs of Business. So for us as franchisors and franchisees in this group, I think we can all say that this past year, although as disruptive as it may have been, has also had the silver lining of collaboration and networking. So it's great to have you on because I think that's so relevant for everyone in the group because you are that master of networking. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what your background is, and we'll go from there?
Oof, the background is, so there's two sides of the same coin here. And if you go back far enough with anyone's life, you're going to find stuff that might well have been questionable. So am I Brad Burton, the guy whose dad left when I was 6 months old, left school with no qualifications, got shot at when I was 21 years old, done 4 years on benefits, been addicted to drugs twice, delivered pizzas at 31. Or am I Brad Burton, the guy who is the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, the 4-time best-selling business author, and also the founder of 4Networking and an entrepreneur, and like the guy who gets booked by companies like JCB, Bentley, Costa, Zero. The list really does go on to motivate their workforce. So two sides of the exact same coin, and I think these are two sides of the same coin with the last year, because for so many people, you know, when this is all over and it's looking like we're getting to that point now where we are getting through it, there's going to be a column, and on that column is going to be losers, and on the other side of the column is going to be winners. And it really is which side of that coin that you want to be on. And now, as I nearly 50 years old, I've decided to be that better version of me. So the Brad that is being interviewed today is not the old Brad; it's the new Brad. Brilliant.
So it's about that that mindset shift of this is the life I'm going to focus on. This is how I can change and be the best I can be.
I think there's a battle going on right now with every individual, including yourself, and that is a battle which is as real as it gets. You've got somebody ringing me doorbell, brilliant. Don't worry, my butlers will get it. That was a joke, by the way. They don't get any better, these jokes. But it really is a battle that is going on for two versions of ourselves: a good version of ourselves and a bad version of ourselves. A negative, destructive version of ourselves and a positive, constructive version of ourselves. And it's one that I've managed to win. I win through, but it's one that has been hard fought. And, you know, like Brexit, 51%, 49%, you end up with a situation you can't go left and right at the same time. And actually what you need to do is you need to recognize that, you know, if you've got a plan B, you don't believe in your plan A. And all I've ever had is a plan A, a complete plan A. And every single thing that I've ever set my mind to in the last 15, 16 years, let me be clear, before that point, I was a bum. But in the last 15, 16 years, everything that I've ever set my mind to, I've achieved. Why? Because of this. This is your best chance of success. This is your best chance of failure. And over the last year, it's been difficult. Because for so many people, if you think about, I go to the gym and I lift weights up, and actually there comes a point when you can only lift so much, you can't lift any more. Your brain's a muscle. And so many people of the last year, you know, they had the coping mechanisms that would normally be dealing with the business, everything's flying, then you get COVID, then you get lockdown, then you get pressure, then you get challenges, then you get money issues, and the whole thing just creates mayhem. And I've actually sussed out a methodology that had got me through in the last 12 months, because let me be quite clear, what people will probably best know me from, and that's where I met you and your team, is 4Networking. I started that business networking organization back in 2006. People laughed in my face. People had told me it never worked. The bank manager said it'd never work. I had people say, oh, it's a flash in the pan the last 2 years. That was 13 years ago. So I started that business off, and I started that business off with three things: ideas, vision, and belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. And if you don't 100% believe in your business, 100%, not 99.9, 100%, don't get upset that when you go and try to sell your products or services to other people and they don't 100% believe in it. So I've got almost misguided, unwavering self-belief, and it served me beautifully over certainly the last year.
That's amazing. So what would you say is there certain methods that you use? How could others that, definitely in this past year would waver or lose that self, manifest things? Is there a positive mindset mantra that you do?
So something that I've done is this. Have you ever played a role-playing game? Not like that, like a Dungeons and Dragons game or a computer game?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about it. When you first start out on a computer game, you have the opportunity to be a barbarian, you be a wizard, you can be a cleric, you can be a whatever, right? So you start off as to be a wizard. You're a level 1 wizard. And then as a level 1 wizard, what happens is, you'll have fights with kobolds, little gnomes, and you've got 2 magic missiles, and then you need to sleep to get your energy back. Then you become a level 20 wizard. You can now summon dragons, flame shields, fireballs. What's the difference between a level 1 wizard and a level 20 wizard? The difference is the battles that you've overcome. And not only the battles that you've overcome, because so many people overcome battles, well, they don't. What they do enough to get away from the pain. They do enough to get away from the battle. But what I do is I say, okay, I talked before about being addicted to drugs twice. I talked before about getting shot at, doing 4 years on benefits. I kind of moved away from that. I've actually revisited that and said, okay, let's go back to these things in my life. What did I learn? What was the lesson that was trying to teach me? And I picked up the experience, I picked up the treasure, and I moved back on. That's what makes me a level 20 wizard. And that's the difference between a level 1 wizard and level 20 is experience and battles. And so many people don't pick up the experience from these things. So that's what I do. And that's what I help people do. As a mentor, I bring that out of them. I go, okay, let's revisit those things that are a little bit scary, that you're not necessarily proud of, and say, what are the lessons that you've got there? And that's something that I've cracked. I've got no psychology degree, but neither does anyone else. And what I mean by that is anyone with a qualification is just made up. Somebody clever's made up a qualification. Well, I've made my own up. I've got my own religion. Bradism. Help many, hurt few, live life.
So we don't hide away from the past. We acknowledge it, we embrace it, and we use it to move forward. So using those things, they always say, don't they, that you've only ever failed at something if you haven't learned from it. So it's taking those things and learning from them to move forward.
So I've got one of my Bradisms, as I call them, go on hashtag Bradisms on Instagram, is experience is what you win when you lose. Think about that. Experience is what you win when you lose. And here's the thing. When it comes to, I'm an expert when it comes to public speaking. The reason I'm an expert when it comes to public speaking is because I've spoke over 2,500 times in public. Let me be clear. Before COVID, I'd never done any of this speaking to camera. When I first started a year ago, I was like Stevie Wonder. Couldn't look in the lens, right? Because I was scared it was going to take me soul. And actually, what happens is this whole thing is an expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. If you want to be a franchisee expert in your field or a franchisor, you've got to make all the mistakes. And the reason that people don't make decisions in their life and their business is why they're scared that they're going to get it wrong. Well, here's the thing. No one, including me, wakes up and says, I'm going to go fuck up today. Right? But on occasion I do. So here's the thing. So what happens is this. When I make a decision, and this is something that Bentley Global use, by the way. Bentley Global use this from a management perspective. And there's a reason that Bentley Global use it. I taught it them. Me, Brad Burton, the former drug addict. Sorry, not that one. Brad Burton. Do you see? Two sides of the same coin. So anyway, when it comes to making decisions, here's the thing. If you get it right, it moves you one step towards success. If you get it wrong, it moves you one step towards being an expert. You can't fail. So I make decisions, and I'm the easiest person. When Mark got hold of me, he said, Brad, and he actually tapped me up. Right, let me be quite clear. This is my business in talking to people, but he tapped me up. Right, he did a number. Well done, Mark. But what happened is I'm the easiest person in the world to sell to. I'll make a decision in 24 seconds. If I can't make a decision in 24 seconds, I'll revisit it in 24 minutes. If after 24 minutes I can't make a decision, I'll revisit it in 24 hours. If after 24 hours I can't make a decision, I've just made a decision, it's not important, next. And that is how I work, because so many people procrastinate on a decision. Should we go left and right at a junction? Oh, I don't know. You're not going to get any more data. Make a decision. Look at this. COVID was a great example of it. I've spoken to thousands in the last year of business owners, and not a single one of them turned around and said, yes, I'm a business plan. I had COVID or a pandemic. So, it's what comes at you and your ability to act fast that is going to dictate where you end up.
Face the fear and do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
got to power on through, haven't you? Face that fear, do it anyway, and you can only, even if something doesn't go right and you do fuck up, then you learn from it, and that's the experience of becoming an expert.
One of the things that I'd say is that you can't delegate responsibility, and it would be all too easy over the last year to try pass it off, to blame Rishi Sunak, to blame Boris Johnson, to blame the wet markets of Wuhan. And actually, as I said before, there's a column, losers, winners. I'm definitively on that winners column. What's happened, let me be quite clear, my business, 5,000 business networking meetings across the UK, real life every single year, 5,000, went to nothing. So my revenue, 100 grand plus easily, went to zero overnight. Overnight. So I could sit there, oh, come on, Boris, come on, Rishi Sunak, you need to sort this out. You need to, let me be clear, there are bigger problems than sorting out my business. So actually you can sit there waiting and whining. But what I did is I got off my ass and I made stuff happen, which is exactly what I've done with this. You know, that's what I did. I asked this question. I've got a piece of paper literally in this room on A3 piece of paper that I wrote on the top of it. What does this make possible? And what it made possible was to do things that I would never dream of doing before, which is taking my once 5,000 meetings network that I built for 14 years, taking it online. And that's exactly what I've done. 4nonline.biz. And we run 3,600 meetings just short of in the last 12 months. So, you know, I would never have done that. Never have done that. And that's what this is. What does this make possible? And it makes possible to do the things that you'd never have dreamed of without a pandemic.
Amazing. And I think that's the right mindset as well that many of our franchisors, because it's the same. You're leading a network and you're suddenly hit with something that you could not have prepared for or planned for, but you know you had to act fast because you are responsible for those franchisees and their livelihoods, and you have to get creative. You have to, not sit around on your ass waiting and push forward and see what you can, I hate the word, pivot, flip, move, get creative and keep that network going. And that you will resonate with all the franchisors in this group for sure.
Now, let me be quite clear. Before COVID came along, my business was rocking and rolling, doing beautifully. I had a real big team, big office, blah, 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 blah. COVID come along and actually things had to change. So my coping mechanisms before was going to the gym 4 times a week. And when I'm driving to the gym 20 minutes, I'd ring my mate. Then I'd do 45 minutes in the gym, drum and bass, then drive back 20 minutes. Then all of a sudden we're locked down. So we're not doing that. Plus you've got the pressures of finances. Plus you've got the pressure of 24 hours rolling news that you're watching, riots going on around the world. Plus you've got pressure of the wife. Plus you've got pressure of finances. Plus the team, blah, 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 blah. I get it. So what ends up happening is the coping mechanisms that I once had, they've now been removed. So now what's happening is now I'm on Nespresso all day long to keep myself fired up so I can keep working. And then Red Bulls. And then, let me be clear. I was panic buying. I was panic buying 8 weeks before anyone else even panic buyed because I was on this. I knew that this was coming our way. I've played enough computer games in my life to know that without a vaccine, this is reaching us. So what I did is I was panic buying, and actually, then when you do turn up, people are fighting over toilet rolls. I was already there 8 weeks before. Genuinely, my wife thought it was crackers, but I was on it, and that's what I do. I wrote a book. What is it? That one. Now what? I asked that question. People only ask that question. Now what? When the shit's hitting the fan. And actually, people under stress don't make great decisions. Yeah. So the idea is you don't make decisions when you're stressed. So what happened was this: coping mechanisms. Gym, nutrition, normal stuff, that's gone. It's now been replaced with mini cheddars. So mini cheddars, 3 packs a day, cappuccino drinks, Red Bull, and now you can't sleep. And then you're waking up stressed, and now you're tired, and people under stress don't make good decisions. And when they stop working, when the Red Bull stops working, when the caffeine stops working, then you're moving into a real danger zone. You're now moving into adrenaline. You're now moving into adrenaline. This is the outside of nightclub, come on, or you're in love, intoxicated. You are now in false mode. And that's what happened to me. I was there, and it's a strong metaphor, but I want to share it. It was a bit like my staff said to me, they're tired. I said, I don't care. I don't care. It was a bit like coming down the stairs at the Twin Towers. I said, look, keep running. I get it. We're tired. I don't care. And actually, it wasn't that I didn't care. It's that I was doing it for their survival. And actually, if I'd not done that, we wouldn't be here now. And I apologize to my team for that. But they recognize that as a leader, you need to know when to whip them, to move them. Whipping right now, we're doing everything right as a business and organization, like genuinely. NetworkCentral.biz for those people that want to come check out NetworkCentral.biz. But what's happened is when that stops working, the adrenaline. So when you go normal coping mechanisms, then you're in the espresso and the mini cheddars, then you're in adrenaline. When that stops working, as I found out, is that I ended up dropping my mum off. My mum came up for the first day the lockdown was broke. she stayed over, 75, dropped her off at home. And then I came back and I had a lie down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then all of a sudden, I started shaking. This was June last year, shaking. So if you've ever seen a shell-shocked World War I soldier and you're going, why is he shaking? The war's over. My nervous system was shot to pieces. I started sweating. Sweat was pouring off me, like the most sweat you've ever done, like that. I was shot to pieces. I had a burnout. It took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to one lay up, literally in bed, and then the next week just playing computer games. 2 weeks. Now, back in 2012, I actually had a nervous breakdown. Right? And this is the side that people don't see. What did I say before? That your biggest chance of success is this. Your biggest chance of failure is this. And I consider myself to be strong, resolute, and so forth. But once again, it can only take so much weight as a gym. Same goes for this. So I end up, I was worried that I'd broke myself for 2.5 years like that. It took me 2.5 years to get back, but not. It just took 2 weeks. So I recognize this now. And what I do is I help teams to avoid burnout. And actually, I know the coping mechanisms to get. So what you don't want to do is after you've got a burnout, try fix it. What you've got to do is recognize when the mini cheddars start coming out, when the Red Bulls are coming out to keep yourself going, you need to change something. So
it's that preempting, knowing the signs, knowing the signals that are coming so that you can try and preempt it before it happens.
True story. And the same goes for business. That applies to business and motivation and teams and sales. You kind of know what's coming down, but what we end up doing in life is pebbles in shoes don't magic their way out. And so many people just keep ignoring these things. My wife, when we moved in this house, we moved in a house in Somerset, and she wanted a house with a wood burner. I've got no idea what a wood burner is. I'm from Salford, Manchester. The idea that you light a fire inside a house and don't run for insurance purposes, alien to me. But anyway, we've got this house and this wood burner, and in each of the corners of the room, I swear to you, was a little spider. Right, that's crazy. That. I said to my wife, "Do you want me to get them out?" She said, "It's all right. I don't mind small spiders." I said, "Where do you think the big ones come from, Kerry?" And that's a good metaphor for life. So many people don't mind small spiders, and yet those small spiders grow into big ones. So whatever's going on right now, deal with it today while you're at your strongest, because the longer you run, the weaker you become.
Yeah, definitely. Things can escalate, can't they? And then that you'll be overwhelmed, for sure.
Once again, people under stress don't make great decisions. So where you end up in your life and in your business is a direct result of your decisions. Your decisions, good ones or bad ones. Think about it. Anytime you've ever ended up in a bad place in your life, that's not the result of one decision. That's a result of lots of decisions that you've got the wrong way. And what I'm the king of now is making better decisions faster. Let me show you. This is my private mentoring club. Better decisions faster. I actually have it. That's what I do. Fundamentally, where you end up in your life is a result of your decisions. Want more success? Make better decisions. So what goes back on to what I say is that fundamentally, people are so focused on the big picture. I want a Lamborghini. I want nonsense. Concentrate on the small picture, and the big picture will paint itself. So many people have got it wrong. They're going after the big things to try and fix it, thinking that that's where happiness is and that's where success is. Let me tell you something. I know that the key to success is, there's two keys to success. One is going after the small stuff. Fix the small stuff in your life first. And the second key to success is it's not money. It's happy. Get yourself happy, and then you can make the money. If you're unhappy and you're making money, all you end up doing is spending that money on daft stuff, believing that the happiness is around the next car or the next house. It's not. And that's what, I ended up with. I ended up with success. I was ill going back in 2012 because I was so focused on money at any cost. And that cost was to my health. So I've managed to get balance in all areas of my life. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I said you asked me how happy I am generally in the last year, the last 2 years, even with everything that had gone on, I would say 9 out of 10. You asked me how happy I was in 2012, I'd have said a 2 out of 10. That's not success. That's success.
Yeah. And so you feel that what you just said there, you feel that you found that balance now. What would you say is that balance for you? Because I'm worried your balance is like absolutely nowhere near what my balance might be.
No. Let me show you something. This, right, is something I've developed called Kingmaker, my program, right? That is it, and that's the thing. So if I go and get a Savile Row suit, a tailored suit, and it fits me beautifully, right? Beautifully. If you put it on, it will look like shit. If Mark put it on, it will look like shit, and vice versa. One size doesn't fit all, and yet it's been sold. Success has been sold as one size. Come on, this and now. Your challenges are different to everyone else's challenges, and this is it. And it's not only that. What you've got is you've got different skill sets. So I'll give you an example. So you and I, me and Jamie Oliver. So Jamie Oliver, come up my Jamie Oliver's masterclass. And what happens is Jamie teaches me how to make a souffle. So we've got identical kitchens. His is there, mine's here. And actually, right, he's telling me how to make a souffle, right? 2 hours later, I don't know if souffles go in ovens. 2 hours later, his souffle comes out immaculate, looks presentable, everything's wonderful. Mine comes out like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And we're going about, I've got all the same kit. It's not that. The thing that people miss is experience, and you can't skip the steps. So many people want to skip the steps. They want to go somewhere along the way. I get it. I speak in front of thousands of people. People, oh, can you introduce me to whoever it is? Or I can speak to them. I've got a story that deserves to be told. Well, if you did, they'd be asking you to tell them. Right. So you can't skip the steps. And I'll tell you something. The thing that you can't buy is experience. And experience, remember what I said before, experience is about getting it wrong and learning from that. As a motivational speaker, right? You know, the amount of times I've died on stage, and most normal people say, I am never doing that again. Me, I'm stupid. I went, you know what did I like best about that? What would I do next time? Right, banked. That's what true success is about. But so many people do not learn the lessons.
No, I think there are so many things that everybody watching can take from this. And that is the main thing. I just did it then. Stop comparing yourself to others. You've got to work through for yourself.
Mate.
Learning from everything. Everything you have done, learn from it.
Let me tell you, this is the thief of joy. If you go on Instagram right now, your franchisees and ours, they'll see business owners there that have got getting out of Lamborghinis, they've got a 10-bedroom mansion, this, that, and other. And you go, well, I've not got a 10-bedroom mansion. I've not got a Lamborghini. Shut up. Like, I'm serious. Shut up. Compare your life to your life. The fact is, you don't want to go out. You know, if you want to go to your kid's sports day, you can take the day off. You don't have to ask anyone, right? That in itself is magical, right? Don't get it twisted. So here's the thing. If I was to compare me to Alan Sugar, oh, Lord Sugar, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 10 and I'm a 2. But if I compare me, Brad, the old Brad, to me, the Brad, the new Brad, I'm a 10, right? On my scale. So what I do is I walk round, you know, with my shoulders back and my head up, because I'm thinking, wow, where have I come from? So the only thing that you should be comparing is comparing you to you. Compare to you that back then to you to you. And ask yourself this question. You know, there's a reason that racehorses wear blinkers. They don't give a toss about the competition, and neither do I. And that's why I've created a field of one. I am my own competition, and that's exactly what you need to do. Be your own competition.
I'd never thought about that. Absolutely. That racehorse analogy. Amazing. Amazing. So I think there is so much that especially the franchisors in the group can really take from it, but all business owners. So what made you get into start a networking business?
Yeah. So when I started my first business, I walked out of a job on December the 16th, 2004, told my employer to shove his job up his ass. And I wrote that book, Get Off Your Ass, about it. And I remember, you know, it was a wonderfully liberating experience. It really was, for those 3 hours whilst I drove home. I'm married, and I arrived home going, blood's gone cold, open the door, standing before me was 8.5 stone of common sense. She says to me, the wife, you're home early, you're here to look after baby Ben while I go shopping. That's one way to look at it, Kerry. Anyway, she started crying. She said, you're going to ruin this family and your insistence on starting a business. I was £25,000 in debt, newborn boy, baby Ben, and didn't have any income, didn't have any savings, nothing. And I said, I'm going to go start a business off. Started a marketing company off, got 4 consultants there. And I realised something, that actually once I'm in front of people, I was pretty cool at selling products and services. Getting in front of people, that was time consuming and costly. And actually, when you're a small business owner, you don't really have the time to do that. But you have the time for the appointments, but you don't have the time to do all the things again. So I went to these networking events, and in political terms, you had the loony left of networking, Chablis and Volivants walk into a room with 100 people there, like a lost child looking for someone, you know, don't know anyone. Then the mayor starts talking about local parking provision at the shopping centre. No one gives a toss. And then you start asking daft questions. Mayor, so you said that the parking's going to go up by 23 pence. Tell me what impact will that have on the local... Loony left, hard right. Where's your leads? Where's your referrals? You have to attend. Whoa. I've started my own business to do my own thing. So anyway, I started 4 networking off. So loony left, hard right, mainstream of networking, 4 networking. And when I started it, one group, everyone told me it never worked. Then the first year we did 11 groups. Second year, 24. Third year, 46. 100, 120, 250, and so it continued. And so I did it because there was the big gap in the market. Loony left, hard right. Where is this mainstream? Anyway, since that point, this last year, what did it make possible? I've actually created something called One Networking, which is, once again, looked at everything, looked at this networking space and said, you know what? That is the hard right is done wrong. You know, if you created, I'll give you an example. If you had a Lamborghini in 1980 versus a Lamborghini, unless you're into classic cars, versus a Lamborghini in 2020, which one is going to win in the race? The 2020, of course. You know, so why would anyone go to a 1980s one? I've created something called One Networking as well, onenetworking.biz, which once again smashes everything to pieces. You know, what I am is a constructive disruptor. You know, in the old Brad, I was like Jesse James. I was looking for fights with everyone. Right now, I ain't fighting anyone. Right, what I'm about is about, once again, racehorse, focused on my own thing completely. So that's why I did it. I did it because networking was up its own arse and old-fashioned and fuddy with it. So I've changed the game again.
So what would you say are your top tips for networking? Do you find they're very different to in-person to now this world of online?
No, exactly the same principles. So first and foremost, would you pass a lead, a referral, a job, a contact to someone you don't know, someone you don't like, someone you don't trust yet? No. So why on earth do you go to a networking event and ask someone to pass you a lead, referral, job or contact when they don't like you, know you, or trust you yet?
Yeah.
You know, and actually you also go to networking events and people go, oh, I'm looking for high net worth individuals. I say, are you a high net worth individual? Well, no. Well, do me a favor, piss off. I'm looking for high net worth individuals. You know, everyone has value and you've got to stop. This is where people get it twisted. People get it all twisted. They're all focused on money. What about people? That is where I come at. People, everyone has value with it. It's Colin the Carpet Cleaner. I've got a network, the UK over. Let me tell you, for networking, the only network in the land where, as a member, you can go to any group. So you join Charing Cross, you can go to Cornwall, Scotland, Manchester. Right now, we're doing it online. There's like 18 groups running today that you can be as anywhere. No one's done that before. Oh, we can't do it that way. Why not? Why can't you do it that way? Well, it won't work. Well, it did. Thousands of members, 15 years on. And let me tell you, 94% of businesses fail in the first 10 years. I don't have a qualification to my name, no MBA, no degrees, no qualifications, but what I've got is common sense. I've got common sense, and that common sense will outpace any degree, outpace any qualification, and that's what businesses need to employ. This is your best chance of success, and your decisions that you make. And actually, if I look at me, people said, oh, I got lucky. Really? So I got lucky with for networking. Okay, cool. I got lucky with my books. Did I get lucky with them as well? And I got lucky with my motivational speaking. And I got lucky with all my other businesses. Let me tell you something. That ain't luck. That's decisions. And the sooner you can get into your decisions, the sooner you'll find your success. People are getting it all wrong. They're coming at the success for the wrong places. If they believe that Facebook advertising is what's going to cause success, you're going to come unstuck, I promise you.
Do you think that's a very British thing? That it's almost that apologetic, and I can see that that's not your way. That was lucky. I'm only where I am because I was lucky. Is that? Do you find that's more in the British culture?
No, I think it's people who've got an axe to grind person. There, people say, "Oh, Brad, you like Marmite?" I'm not like Marmite. The only people that say I'm like Marmite are the people that don't like me because they're jealous, but they can't admit it. They can't turn around and say, I'm pissed off that this kid here has outpaced me. He's got more success. He's more talented than me. And actually, I've got a degree. That's about the size of it, or they've done a training course or whatever. And actually, I think if people were really honest with themselves and actually find out what the thing behind the thing is. When you ask people, why don't you like Brad Burton, let's say, they'll turn around and go, oh, well, he's aggressive. He's northern. He swears too much. Cool. Well, you know what? And then you ask people that like me, why they like me. They go, oh, yeah, he's driven, entrepreneurial. He says what he's going to do. He's straight speaking. Two sides of the same coin, which is exactly where we started. So you end up, the only way that I'm ever going to appease everyone is by not liking myself. And that is why in life and business, so many people end up being in lives and businesses and places where they don't want to be because they've changed and osmosis, vanilla. You go into a networking event and you've got everyone wearing a three-piece suit and a pocket watch. Some AC/DC web designer turns up there next week. He's got a three-piece suit and a pocket watch on. And actually, you end up conforming. So I've created a field of one. How many motivational speakers? People said, oh, you can't be a motivational speaker, Brad. Why not? Well, you've got a shaved head, you've tattoos, you're from Salford, Manchester, and you look like a drug dealer. I'm not a drug dealer, by the way, anymore, because we can all change. And that's the point, is that how many other motivational speakers are out there like me? None. So what ends up happening, you've got a million motivational speakers that have been up Mount Kilimanjaro in a Pacamac or a unicycle, right? But there's only one of them that is stupid enough to say he got shot at when he was 21, written 4 books, started a business from nothing, delivered pizzas, blah, 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 blah. And that's what people need to do. You are your best chance of success. Right? You are your best chance of success and every bit about you. But people end up putting that down because it's not professional. Brad Burton's not professional. Listen, I get paid right? I invoice, I get paid. I'm professional. So what's going on? So what does professional mean? Oh, right, I need to wear a monocle and a three-piece suit and a pocket watch. Do you reckon I'd get booked more if that was the case? Stop it. And this is what people end up doing. They end up being something they're not, a vanilla version of themselves. And that is why people end up in bad places in their life and the world and the business.
So they've got, it's that positive mindset we talked about. It's that not giving a shit about what others think of you, because knowing your own worth and celebrating your own worth. How do you think you deal with any negative? How do you deal with negativity that comes your way? Because as humans, it's human nature to let that one negative comment outweigh 10 positives.
So two things here. One, when I first started phone networking, I opened up with the words, welcome to the future of business networking, February 16, 2006. There was a table, 11 tables in the room, 72 people. One of the tables in the back had all the rivals on there, and they were all laughing and sniggering. Be careful in life what table people ask you to sit on. That is my enduring thought and memory of that launch. Of all the things that happened at that launch was the table that laughed. Since that point, I've got a mates of mine who are professional boxers. And I said to him, I said, how many times have you been punched in the face? 100,000. I said, do you remember the first time you got punched in the face? He said, yes. I said, do you remember the 100,000th time, or the 10,000th time you got punched in the face? He said, no. That's the difference. So once again, once you've dealt with this, the first time, once somebody's done the worst, everything that follows just bounces off your head. You know, I never take advice or criticism from people that I wouldn't take business advice from, right? I don't do it. It just falls on my head. I've had people tell me I've got my network wrong. When you've got thousands of members, or when you've written 4 books, when you've been a motivational, I wouldn't have said that, Brad. What's the biggest audience you've spoken in front of? All right, okay, cool. So what right have you got? You know, if you can do the job, you're qualified. I can do the job. I listen to my own voice. I know I've done okay. I'm my own PR team. I'm my own business coach. I'm my own I've done okay. So I don't listen to these people because they've got nothing to add to me. And it's not that, in the old days, you could sit there because everyone have a different opinion. Everyone will have a different opinion. Brad, you want to have your logo, shouldn't be yellow. It's aggressive like a bee. All right. So what should it be? Well, it should be light blue to be. And the next thing you're doing that, and then somebody says, actually, Brad, you need to be more aggressive. Oh, right. Make your own decision, live with the outcome.
No, that's great. And it definitely is that whole mindset and what works for you to stay positive and try and block out that negativity. You know, we've seen lately the documentaries that have come out with Caroline Flack, with Roman Kemp, that the power that words can have. So it is about, yes, we have to talk about it. Yes, we have to talk about mental health, but we need to acknowledge things that we can do to try and block out that negativity.
You're your biggest cheerleader, right? There's no cavalry. It's a myth. So what you need to do is you need to start patting yourself on the back, stop fucking beating yourself up, because the reality is out there, there's going to be a load of people that will beat you up already. So why waste energy? Listen, if you're in a corridor, and in that corridor on the left is a room full of negative people, and in the right there's a room full of positive people, what room would you go in? No, I'm asking you. What room would you go in?
Positive one.
Hang about. Why is there rooms full of negative people on Clubhouse, rooms full of negative people on Facebook, rooms full of negative people in your life? And it's because somewhere along the way you chose to go in there. So what you've got to do is stop it. I am my own biggest cheerleader, right? I'm almost, like I say, misguided, unwavering self-belief. And I can teach people that, and I've cracked it myself. But the first person, never trust a fat motivational speaker. I used to be 3 stone heavier. And how can I motivate people when I can't even motivate myself? So I've had to sort myself out before I can sort anyone else out. And this is the thing. What I need you to do as individuals is, in the event of an emergency, place your own oxygen mask on before you help other people. We're so busy getting involved in other people's problems and dramas. Forget it. Until you've got no problems in your own life, how do you believe that you should be wasting your life and time? And I'll give you another tip. Delete the Mail Online app. Right? Delete the Mail Online app, delete Sky News, because I tell you something, I would rather be happy and uninformed than informed and unhappy. Yeah. And that's what genuinely, I've had to delete them, because I'd sit there in any downtime and I'd just be saying, oh, look, another riot, somebody's just been shot, somebody's just been strangled. Brilliant. Yeah. Honestly, you've got to secure this. Yeah. And it's not only, as I talked about a diet then, it's not only, what you eat. It's about what you consume visually, about the people around you. So if you're around negative people, you're going to be negative. If you're around people arguing about COVID or masks or Brexit or whatever, stop it. Let me ask you, to your audience right now, in all the time that you've been on Facebook, have you ever convinced anyone of a contrary view based on a Facebook argument? No. So why on earth are you spending hours dicking about when actually your business is struggling, your family is struggling, your mental health is struggling. Get yourself away from the drama.
Yeah, cut out that toxic narrative, definitely. So let's move on to Sean's question. Brad, how are you enjoying Clubhouse?
Clubhouse is a tool. It's a bit like how I'm enjoying a knife. You know, you can use it to do whatever you want with that knife. There's lots of practical. Clubhouse is great, but it's been hijacked by the Clubhouse clowns, as I like to refer to them as. People that are out there saying, hey, you too can earn a 9-figure income. And actually what's happening is people want to believe that you go on a Clubhouse and you go and sign up for a £49 course, and then you sign up for a £500 course, and that somewhere along the way, you then become a millionaire. Let me tell you something, people. The only thing you become is like a modern day Jack and the Beanstalk. So, you know, and you sell your cows. There is no shortcuts to success. It's going to be tough. And I'm sorry to break it to you. It's going to take you 4 times longer than your business plan for the bank says. That's the reality of it. I have been in business now for 16 years, 16 and a half years, 15 with the second business. And I can honestly tell you that in the first 9 years, I wanted to quit 11 times. 11 times in the first 9 years. In the last 6 years, I've wanted to quit 0 times. There is a whole lot more to life and success than listening to somebody on Clubhouse. What I'd suggest that Sean and others do is they go into Clubhouse, and any guru that they feel that they want to buy their product or service, type in their name followed by the word scam and see how you get on. I think it'll be illuminating, because I tell you, I think it's disgusting, quite frankly. I think what's going on over there, and the reason, you know, Clubhouse is an amazing tool, but it has been hijacked right now by malignant, nasty pieces of work whose only focus is using people as commodities in order to get them in the funnel to make more money. You know, my MO, if you could put a USB cable in my head, is to make a positive difference. And actually, in making a positive difference, I make money. That's cool. I'm good with that. But some people, the way that it's over there, it's just genuinely, it's dark. It's a dark network. And as somebody who goes into that environment, you know, I've got a friend of mine who's literally billionaire, and actually you go on there and he's got 140 followers. You'd look at him compared to one of these Clubhouse clowns and you go, look at the other guys more successful, trust me. And that's the bit that people don't understand, and it's perception nowadays. You know, I'm Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. Go and Google it. You'll come up, you'll see records upon records. The reason I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker is because I made it up. And I've made no qualms about that. I said I'm going to prove a point that social media, you can merge it to do anything you want. And I started in that process 8 years ago. And I'm now the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And in doing so, I've got people kicking off saying, you're not the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. Well, who is? Well, and actually, the thing is, that term, motivational business speaker was one that I made up. It never existed beforehand. So what's happening on Clubhouse is you're saying, hey guys, I've started off 10 £1 million businesses. What you've had is one business that's earned 100 grand for the last 10 years. Oh, that's one of them. Oh, and 7-figure, 8-figure businesses. Are we counting the 2 zeros after the decimal point? Just asking. Right. And this is the problem. It's disgusting. So unfortunately, as much as I love the platform, it squelched me out. I go on there and it's just too noisy. You're not getting heard. So actually, it's a bit like, from my perspective, I've got my own platforms, and actually I get heard anywhere I go. I'm not going to be starting Clubhouse almost like Cardiff Stadium, shouting my name whilst someone else is louder than me because they decided to sell certainty. And that's what people do on there, sell certainty. The only certainty about this is that you're going to die one day. That's the only certainty. And what ends up happening is people end up going, you knew where I had to press my button, Sean, didn't it? People end up going, why do you think it's so expensive, this 10 grand course? I don't know. Well, because it works. And you go, oh, yeah.
Right.
Wrong.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I hope you enjoyed that answer. But it definitely is. It, like you keep saying, it's about cutting out that toxicity. Can't even say it.
Easy for you to say.
Making your Clubhouse corridor without those. I mean, I'm on there as well, but I don't follow those types of people because, it's bullshit, and I'm not. Look, I'm getting all sweary and aggressive. Like,
but genuinely, I've been in business now for 16 and a half years. 16 and a half years, half of my adult life, a third of my entire life devoted to one business. There's no shortcuts. I'm telling you, like, honestly, like, when I first started, I'm going into the whiskey jar with 2s and 1s. I'm going to the Summerfield to go and get the Coinstar machine, or borrowing a tenner from my mum. living on Tesco's beans and waffles. That's what you've got to do. But you've got to do that so that you finally can live as you want to. But what ends up happening is people do 1 year, oh, I'm going to do Bitcoin. Then I'm going to do this franchise over here for 2 years. That's not work. Now I'm going to start selling candles. Now I'm going to start selling utilities. Focus on one thing. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So Sean has now asked again, what is the best shit advice you've ever had?
That I need to wear a suit to get booked.
Right.
You know, I need to get a suit on to get booked. And I think if anyone's interested in watching a presentation of me in my natural habitat, Google XeroCon, XERO-CON, Brad Burton on YouTube. XeroCon. That's me in front of 3,000 accountants, not wearing a suit, not wearing a three-piece suit and a pocket watch and a monocle. That's me being booked for being me.
Yeah.
You know, Costa Coffee, booked for being me. JCB, Bentley, booked for being me. So, you know, to actually stop listening to people. You're good enough. Look, let me be honest with you. The ingredients that you've got your recipe. That's the thing that needs changing, not your ingredients. I've got a face like a potato, right? That's the reality of it. I could sit there, thank you. I could sit there, and what I could do is I could go, oh, you know, I used to have hair. Used to, gone. It's over. Stop worrying about the past. We spend too much time rewinding. Oh, I can't wait for it to go back to normal. It isn't going back to normal, right? Yeah. You kill yourself. You're in cloud cuckoo land. If you believe it's going back to normal, you are kidding yourself. And if it does go back to normal, great, but prepare for it not going back to normal is my advice.
Yeah, looking forward, not looking back. Amazing. So I think if we look to round it up, have you got any final thoughts for those within franchising or tips for networking that you would like to leave us all with? Yeah,
the reality is that where you end up is a direct result of your decisions. And we spend so much time rewinding. I was doing really well before COVID. I was doing, shut up, it's done, right? And I was doing really well before COVID. And guess what? I'm doing really well now. We're 70%, 60% down. Oh, sad face. Oh, but I'm not burning my furniture to stay alive. And actually, truth, profitability is up. My mind has been blown. My profitability is the greatest it's been in 11 years. What's going on? So ask yourself this question: what does this make possible? And remember this: that every single decision that you've ever taken in your entire life, has brought you to this live broadcast today. Right? Every single decision in my life. When I think about it, I got shot at in Manchester back in 1995. I moved away. I got a pin and I closed my eyes and I ended up in Weston-super-Mare. If I wouldn't have ended up in Weston-super-Mare, I might have been in Bristol. I might have been whatever. It only needs to be a couple of millimeters one way or the other, and I would be in a different life. Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, wouldn't have existed. This wouldn't have existed. So everything happens for a reason, even the shit. So do yourself a favor. You can't rewind. Oh, my life's going to be good when I get that telly, when I get that contract, stop. You can't fast forward. All you can do is press play on today. This is it, people. One day, you know, our time is up. One day, my time is going to be up. Your time's going to be up. And you have something that one of the richest men in the world doesn't have. Steve Jobs. You have it today. You have it tomorrow. So stop whinging about, oh, these things are terrible. Shut up. Seriously, give yourself a talking to. It's Friday. I want you this weekend to look at what you've got. I want you to look at what you've got in your life and your business and your world. And do seek me out on social medias.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brad. It was absolute pleasure talking to you. Focusing on the positives, knowing your worth and moving forward. That's definitely what I've taken.
One thing here, shout out. And just say, if anyone's interested in working with me, do email hello@bradburton.biz and just tell me you've just come off this. hello@bradburton.biz. I'd love to get that email.
Amazing. You've all heard that, guys. So thank you again for joining us. There we go. Email address is up on the screen. Please do contact there. Amazing to have you on today.
Mark, photograph. Big smile. Done. Thank you.
Mark, can you play us what is up next time?
Hello, Laura Budd here from Franchise News fame. I just wanted to hop on and tell you that our next episode will be in celebration of International Women's Day and Women's History Month. International Women's Day was obviously at the beginning of March, but the whole of March is Women's History Month. So we've got some amazing interviews coming up with some brilliant women, and I'm going to be taking the reins on those, which is very exciting. So make sure you stick around for our next episode. It's going to be a good one.
Brilliant. So there you go, guys. Make sure you don't miss the next episode. I would just like to thank you again, Brad, for joining us. I hope everybody has gained so much insight and great tips from you there. It's been an absolute pleasure. And hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. So thanks, everyone, for watching.
Can I just say you did beautifully? Right? Whoever blew me out because he was too busy on Clubhouse or whatever, I was missed out on an opportunity. You are amazing as a presenter. Boom.
Thank you very much. I will take that all day long and use that as one of those positive things I am telling myself later today. Thank you so much. Definitely, yes. I feel there was a reason that I was drawn to interview you today, so I can only thank you. Amazing. Thank you, universe.
Thank you again.
Brad, and we will catch you all soon. Bye, everyone. Thanks for your questions.